Hey, Dan Meyer here, and I'm back again with the future of work. And one of the things that we're going to focus on when we're talking about work going forward is how we do storytelling with data. Yes, storytelling with data. One of my favorite topics. Basically, data storytelling with data. The idea is that you're using data in a story to be able to give more credence to it, to validate what you're talking about, to kind of back you up for what you're saying. And so storytelling with data is basically a practice used by businesses to influence customers, to attract new customers, to keep all their employees going in the same direction. You're doing things where you're trying to drive a narrative, but you're doing it with lots of data. Now, this doesn't mean you're showing people a lot of numbers. You can do different types of visuals that will help you tell data stories even better. We'll talk about a few of those today. So basically, this is a high level kind of like, this is how you should be thinking about talking about your business. This is how you should be thinking about the aspect of storytelling when it comes to talking about the products you have, the services you offer, the solutions you provide. You want to be able to relate to people in a way that they remember it. You want to be able to give people information, you want to give them education, you want to enable them to take action. This can all be enhanced by storytelling with data. So the first thing you want to do, and I'm going to share with you 7 tips, right? So tip number 1, the first thing you want to do is understand your audience. Knowing your audience is really important. You want to understand who you're speaking to, and not just how you want to do it, but how they want to receive it. So you want to think about what it is that you're doing right now to be able to inform people about who you are. Do you have a website? Are you using social media? Are you using traditional media like print or TV or radio? How are you reaching your audience? And how well do you know them? And how sure are you that they're receiving your intended comments, your intended suggestions, your intended message based on the mediums that you're using? So most of us focus nowadays on social media as our primary way of marketing. And if you're marketing yourself on social media, which platform should you be on, right? So the people that are on LinkedIn are different than the people that are on Facebook, that are on IG, that are on Twitter, that are on TikTok, and each platform has a demographic it plays to. Now, you can try to be everything to everyone, but you'll probably fail. You want to focus on 1 or 2 platforms that your audience is on. Say, for example, you're a business consultant and you sell a healthcare supplement. You're out there in front of people, either in person or online, talking about the benefits of the supplement. You want to give people an example of how you use it and how it makes your life better. You want to talk about testimonials and stories of people who've used it. You want to show the positive results of it and how it creates a better lifestyle, how it creates a better personal feeling about yourself, how it gives people more self-confidence. Those are the things that you want to get across through images and short videos. So IG is probably the best place for you to do that. That's just an example. So every social media platform, every type of marketing platform requires you to understand the people on it and how they want to consume information. People on IG are all about how you look and how you feel and how you sound. It's really a very, for lack of a better word, kind of vain. And basically, if you're trying to sell something that will make people feel better about themselves or look better, IG is probably the best place to do that. So that's an example. That's number 1, tip number 1. Know your audience. Number 2, consider your time constraints. Not just how much time you have in front of them, because on the average, people will look at a social media post for about 3 seconds before they decide they want to keep going. They'll look at a video for maybe 8 to 10 seconds before they decide they want to keep going. They'll look at the 2 or 3 sentences at the top of a blog post or an article. So you want to consider how much time do you have to capture their attention. And you also want to figure out how much time of theirs do you want to get your full message across. Long videos, long blog posts, long articles, they don't work anymore. Unless you're doing something very specific for a very, very interested audience, then you want to be able to look at how to do things shorter. And so this is where you look at data, right? So knowing your audience is all about knowing the demographics of your data, where people live, how they shop, what they do, what age they are, what's their demographic background, where they're located geographically. You gather data to help you tell your story better. With time constraints, it's the same thing. You gather data. How much of their attention can you grab? How much can you keep them engaged? Look at these metrics. Look at your views on your videos. Look at what posts are getting the most interest. Look at what reels are getting the most attraction. And you start, again, managing your data, right? So you look at how do you tell a story based on what the data tells you to do, who you talk to and how long you talk to them for and where you talk to them at. is all things that you need to understand to do storytelling with data, right? This isn't the part where you use data in your story. You're using data to drive your story. And this gets us to point number 3. Prepare your data. So you want to be able to take this information you're gathering from your research. You're looking at Facebook Insights. You're looking at the free statistics that you get across every social media platform. If you're using YouTube or you're using Pinterest or whatever you're using, they will provide you free metrics. You want to mix and match this with data that you find off the internet. If this is something you want to do, if you're not great at preparing data, you hire a virtual assistant to do that for you. They can track all your leads. They can put everything into a CRM. They can run reports to be able to tell you which is your target market that's actually looking at your stuff, watching your stuff. They can tell you which things are going more viral than others so that you can focus on doing more of the things that are working. This is the preparing the data phase, right? So you're trying to figure out, okay, so this is who I want to talk to. This is how long I have in front of them. This is what I want to tell them. This is the things I've been trying, and this is the things that have been working. And you put all that into an analysis. And it doesn't have to be anything really complicated or really stressful. It can be some simple analysis in a spreadsheet that if you don't want to do it yourself, you hire a virtual assistant to do some of that for you. That gets us to tip number 4. Choose the right visuals, right? So whenever you're talking about giving people data, now you're starting to show them like, hey, 9 out of 10 of my customers stick with me for more than a year. Hey, look, I've been doing business for 10 years and every year I've been profitable and I've grown my profits like X% year over year. You start showing those kind of data points into your story, right? To give yourself, again, validation, to back up what you're saying. Like, for example, in my virtual assistant business, we currently have about 35 clients. Some of those clients have been with me for 2 years. A certain percentage, probably close to a third of them, have been with me for almost 2 years or more. Another third have been with me for a year. So I have very low turnover in my client base, right? So I have a lot of people come in and a lot of them stick. So I want to show a visual to show that. So maybe I use a pie chart, a line graph. Maybe I use some kind of visual where I'm showing them numbers to back up the fact that 66% of my customers stick around for at least 1 year. That gives me validity because a lot of people, when they look to hire a virtual assistant, they know it's not going to be easy. They know that there's a lot of turnover. It's hard to find a VA they can trust. So I start showing some of my numbers in my presentations, just a couple, just to help them. And I choose the right visuals, right? I show them just the information you need to know. I don't overwhelm them with numbers. I don't share them spreadsheets. I don't do things that scare people. Just a couple simple visuals to help them understand the power of what I'm saying with my voice, right? So when I say 2/3 of my clients stick around for more than a year, you hear that. But when you hear me say 2/3 of my clients stick around for more than a year, and you see a chart showing 2/3 on a pie chart, that is an example of using the right visuals and storytelling with data. The next thing about storytelling with data is your data wants you to point you to something that's going to be a big takeaway, right? You want to demonstrate to your audience something that they did not know. Like the healthcare supplement that I use has a 97% likelihood of you losing weight. Or the makeup that you're going to be buying from me is makeup that is the best-selling brand. It's super popular. It's more popular than everything else. And you show some numbers that people go, wow, I didn't know that. Or wow, I wasn't sure about that. So again, you're telling them something to make them want to buy from you or join your club or subscribe to your channel, whatever it is you want to do, whatever your course of action is, you give them a few data points to back that up. Again, you don't have to be some data nerd to be able to do this in your storytelling. You can have a VA crunch some numbers for you to help you figure out what data points you could put into your videos or into your blog posts or into your information that you share on social media. So that's the big takeaway. What's that one big thing that's going to make people go, I did not know that. And when they think about that, they're going to think, wow, this person really knows what they're doing. They're someone I like and I trust, and now they're showing me that what they're offering me is going to definitely make a difference in my life. Those little data points help, right? There's a reason people, when they're doing marketing, they talk about, 9 out of 10 toothpaste brands have this feature, and how come when you buy cars, they have this much gas mileage? We put data points in everything we do in marketing. So if you're not doing that, if you're not putting data points and you're not using it in a story to tell your audience, you're not doing everything you could to be able to really convince people, to persuade people, to influence people to do business with you. So that's number 5. Number 6 is you want to deliver the key insights, right? So after you have that big takeaway and you get their attention, you want to give them a couple more. You want to follow up with a few more bullet points You want to say, okay, look, so this is great. And now I've got their attention because I can show them that we can do something big. Well, then what are the little steps to get there? Because normally you don't have this big, oh my gosh, thing happen overnight. It takes time. How many days does it take for you to be able to lose weight on this supplement? How many days will it take you to be able to have more energy? Is this something you have to do every day for 7 days? Is this something that you have to be able to commit to, like going to a gym on a regular basis? What are the things that will get you to where you want to go? And you talk about these as far as key insights. How do you start changing habits? How do you start changing behaviors? And when people do that in their videos, then again, they're becoming even more likable, more trustworthy, because they're not just saying you're going to promise one big thing, but you're going to help them make a shift in who they are and what they do. And this is something that you really want to be able to take advantage of, right? Again, with data. So think about your business, think about the data around your business. What are some numbers that you can use to tell a story? And if you're not sure about the numbers, if you're just guessing, then you can validate those numbers by crunching the data. And again, you can hire a virtual assistant to do that. Here at Sonic VA, we actually have virtual assistants that can help you on those back-end administrative stuff to crunch the numbers and give you the data points that you can then talk about in your stories. And then you can put visuals around them when you talk about them so that you can convince more people that you are the solution to their problems. And the last thing you want to do, tip number 7, is you want to narrate the story. So you have to be the one to be able to tell your story, or maybe you get a spokesperson. But most of us, we're our own best marketers. We know our business the best. We know the way we approach things the best. So we are the ones that can tell our stories the best. And when you do storytelling with data, it will be much more impactful because it's not just you talking about it. You're also kind of backing it up with some facts. You're backing it up with some data. You're showing them that the proof is in the pudding. And that's something that effective business owners do. When you look at the best people in your niche, whoever they are, the most successful YouTube stars, the most successful people, the most followers on Instagram, the ones that have the biggest reach in groups on Facebook, I guarantee you, they're mixing some numbers into their story. You may not see it, you may not see a number on the screen, but they're talking about things that show that they looked at their data. And when they tell stories, they use that data. So I hope that helped. This is my 7 tips to use storytelling with data in your business. This is part of the Future of Work series. There'll be more videos soon. If you have not done so, please subscribe to our channel. Feel free to drop any comments below, and I will be back at you again with more tips to handle the future of work. Thanks a lot for your time. Now get out there and have an amazing day.